This $300 PC has probably some of the best price to performance that I think I've even seen in a while. It's able to play most games at 1080p, over 60 FPS, or even 75 FPS, and it mainly consists of used parts, but even includes some of the new parts. So let's go ahead and get right into the parts list. So starting off with the CPU, we have ourselves an Intel i7 3770K, and it's a 4-core 8-threaded processor and should be plenty enough to play games. The motherboard that is used in this video is Asus P8Z77, and it came with the CPU when I bought it. And for the RAM, we got 12 GB of HyperX Genesis DDR3 RAM. For the CPU cooler, this also came with the CPU and motherboard. It is a Enermax ETS N30R. For storage, I am using a T-Force Vulcan Z SSD with 512 GB of storage. For the case, I went with a Rosewell Zircon, and it came with the RGB fan and a fan in front, and it just looks good. I forgot to record this part, but for the graphics card, I went with the XFX RX 5500 XT with 8 GB of VRAM. Now that that's out of the way, we will be moving on to the price. Now for the price of the CPU, motherboard, RAM, and cooler, I paid a total of $60, which honestly I think is a great deal for those 4 things. Moving on to the GPU, I paid $80. The dude posted it for $100 originally, but then I lowered it to $80, and I think I got a pretty decent deal off of that. Moving on to the SSD and power supply, both of those after tax came out to $84. Yes, I am including the taxed price also in this video. Moving on to the case, I paid a total of $54 also after tax. I think for the price, that case is pretty good. And then yes, I did have to buy extra RAM because the dude only gave me 4, so I bought an extra 8 for $20. And with that, our total came out to $298 after tax, everything included. And honestly, for $298, I think the price to performance is pretty amazing for what I was able to build. Alright, moving on, I'm going to be showcasing the benchmarks. Okay, so starting out with Overwatch 2, I did have a little bit of problems running the game at first at high settings, but that is because I had VSync on. My CPU was fully loaded at 100%, so I turned VSync off and unlocked the frame counter, which I forgot to do, which I should have done earlier. And I would say I averaged around 145, maybe to 150 or 60 FPS. I can't give an exact number. Overwatch 2, the FPS likes to go up and down a lot, but the game ran very smooth for high settings. And the next game on our list is Modern Warfare 2 at the Ultra preset. And on the Ultra preset, I surprisingly actually got on average between 70 to 80. I'd sometimes even get into the 90s FPS range. The game did run smooth. I do think it would have benefited from a little bit more RAM. I feel like it is slightly being held back a little bit by 12 gigs. I could be wrong though, but that's what I'm guessing. Other than that, the game ran pretty smooth and it was a very playable experience. And moving on to the last game on our list, it's going to be Halo Infinite. Now, I did test Halo Infinite on the medium preset, and I'd say that on the medium preset, in the first mission, before you're on the Halo ring, averaged around like 65 FPS. But once you get onto the actual Halo ring itself, I would recommend tuning down the settings to low just to be able to hit that 60 FPS mark once again. And with that, that concludes our $300 PC build. I do plan on doing more builds in the future, but stay on the lookout for more of these videos, and I do plan on making more.